once you have the partnership, you think, okay, now everything's going to flow. All of a sudden, their sales reps are going to be out in the field, like, shilling my book, and everything's going to go great. But I think a lot of founders and companies like really underclub what you have to invest in internally from an infrastructure perspective to get these partnerships to really hum. How maybe, and if you're able to share an example maybe of a partnership where you kind of ended up investing a lot in like internal organizational and processes and things like that. What are some of the things that you ended up maybe being surprised that you had to invest in or change internally to make these partnerships successful?
Yeah, for sure. So it's like the adage of nothing sells itself is completely true. And then where you can be fooled as an entrepreneur is thinking that you're important to the account manager on your channel partner. You are not. Their number one priority is retaining their customer and growing that customer. Even if you can somehow find your way to be part of their incentive comp plan, which is a huge, heavy undertaking, the majority of channels, you're not going to be able to find that path. You're just actually a nice to have, not a need to have. It doesn't matter how critical your service is. So you have to have that empathy and recognition that at the end of the day, they're putting their neck on the line, for you by bringing you in, by allowing you as part of the conversation. And their incentive structure is aligned to have their priority number one, as it should be. If you're in their shoes, you do the same. Keep their customer and keep their customer happy. So that speaks to organizational capability number one. And this is really true in healthcare. Don't mess up your implementations. You can have blips, stuff happens, bumps in the road happens. And if you have a spirit of partnership, you'll work alongside your customers to get through it. But you have to deploy well, because if in the instance that the channel partner brings you in and sells you successful in partnership with you, in the instance that the deployment isn't successful and it creates customer headache, they are not going to want to bring you back in to the next. So it literally it clogs up the go-to-market in an enormous way. So what that means is you have to have an amazing customer success organization and implementation team, and just really work the problem and make sure that your deployments go off, very, very well. I mean, early on, I remember we were going in an early expansion of Omada, and it was Costco who worked with us for 2 states, and the head of benefits really liked what she saw. She's like, Sean, all right, I'm going to roll you out nationally. And she's like, Sean, we break vendors. I can't tell you how many vendors we have broken. I don't want you to break. And my gosh, we thought of the 1,000 things that could go wrong. Like we had, the entire Omada team of like 20 at the time, like working that problem. And we did not break. We deployed successfully. We scaled nationally across Costco. So you have to have that approach to make sure your customers are successful, because otherwise it kills your channels upstream. Secondly, you have to have an entire channel management team. So, it's a different motion to close the channel. It's a different motion to operationalize the channel. So that's separate, than your direct sales effort, because it's going to involve internal capabilities relative to partnership marketing and channel marketing. I mean, you've got to learn, well, what are your big marketing events? Can we be there? You've got to create channel-specific marketing assets. You've got to create pitch decks where they're the 3 slides that they can plug in that uniquely describes, your relationship with them. You have to do pipeline reviews. You have to set kind of channel goals, and and all that requires active internal management. So you need a full channel team to do it properly.